There are a couple things too I want to mention before we get out of here that I did see this week. Maybe not full on reviews, just to give you a quick burst of about them. I took in De Palma, the documentary about Brian De Palma. I think it came out 2017, and it was a pretty cool watch, man. Mostly because it's him telling his own story. And what I like most about it is it pretty much goes through the start of his career up until, I guess, the last few films that he puts out. So pretty much it's him giving commentary on making all of those films. I thought was pretty cool. And then also, come to find out, he's directed some things that I didn't even know that he directed. Like, I didn't think he directed Carlito's Way, but like, but it makes sense. It's like, but it makes sense now. Looking at him, like, oh my God, he did that. So that was pretty cool, man. Also,
he directed the first Mission Impossible too, didn't he?
Yeah. Mission Impossible, Scarface, Carrie, and a bunch of other ones that like I wouldn't even have
Dressed to Kill. Yes. One of my favorite ones that he did is, and it's you don't really get too much love, is the Nick Cage film Snake Eyes. Mm-hmm. That's a real good film. And I think Rick Ramos might have mentioned it on his podcast this week, about Snake Eyes and, talking about the Palm. I think he might have talked about 3 directors in their bios this week.
Yeah, that's what made me check this out. Okay. He posted about watching this, and then I saw that when I typed the name in, it said HBO Max, had it, so I put it up on there. So yeah, that's what got me curious about it. Also,
I tell you the weakest of his films, and I don't know why. It's one of those Mars films. I can't remember if it's Mission to Mars or Red Planet, but I completely hated that film. It doesn't seem like anything that he would do. It was real out of. It seemed like it was out of his wheelhouse.
Yeah. Let me see. Which one is that? Is that the one with Cheadle? It's the one with Cheadle. I know that. Yeah. So it's going to be Mission to Mars, I think.
Mission to Mars. Okay.
Yeah, and he kind of had some interesting commentary on that, man. He just kind of jumped out there and in the middle of making it realized that he didn't really want to do this, so that was a problem. So,
but like he's
stuff that was going on really tripped him up, and he had some difficulties, man.
Yeah, with something like that, he's not that type of director. You know what I'm saying? Because he's like around like the Scorsese type wheelhouse, like. To me, anything like science fiction isn't like his thing. Mission Impossible is like the closest I think that he probably gets to a real action movie that I can think of.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. Just to hear his take on all that stuff, like he definitely, like he's a guy that's really aware. You know what I'm saying? Like he knew Mission to Mars was a stinker. Like it's kind of interesting hearing him, talk about this stuff. And just, his experiences and relationships with other directors like Spielberg and such like that. So it's kind of interesting that he was kind of in the same studio system as a lot of those guys when their careers were starting out. And there's interesting parts of him talking about shooting the final Scarface showdown. And I think Pacino had burned his hand, so he wasn't on set for a couple weeks. So they were just filming the action anyway, and Spielberg popping up. It's like, yeah, man, put another camera over here. Make that explosion bigger. Like, and you're just like, wow, Spielberg, had input on Scarface. Like, so, cool, man, hearing that stuff.